Getting ready to set up my mega tree, and the mega tree is going to be a great challenge today. I've never set one up. I've got I think all the pieces for it, and it's going to look great. And if it doesn't look great, that's okay too, but this is what we're doing today. So let me show you what we're working with so far, and I'll try to explain as much as I can as I go along. If I forget, I'll just drop it all in the comments of stuff that I'm using, and it'll be awesome. So first off, a lot of these things that we build for our decorations and Halloween decorations, they're all custom. You can buy a lot of this stuff, and I try to buy as much as I can to show you guys that you can just buy whatever you need, put it on your house. For the mega tree, I found myself, I've needed some custom parts. I needed a custom topper, and I needed a custom bottom for it. Now you can go out, and I think Gilbert Engineering, they have some mega tree builds already. You can buy the top and the bottom. There's a couple other out there. That's the only one that's coming to mind right now. I'll list some down below so you guys can see them. But so the mega tree, that's what we're going to be working on today. And so, but let me show you what I built so far. I'm gonna try to go all the way from scratch so you guys can see the likes and the fails as I go along here, and hopefully I don't crash out too bad. So first things first, let's look at our base. So this is my base unit. I had a buddy at work weld this for me. We basically took a square steel tubing and we had it bent at an arc at 120 degrees. I didn't want to go 180 because I think that's robbing me of lights to look around. And so we went 120 degrees. On the back here, I got an 1.5 inch flat steel that we put in between there, and we've welded down there. We put some holes in there just to keep the base onto the ground. And then on the front side here, we've used some chain link. We've cut some chain link up. We've welded the chain link into it. And that way we've got something to hook the bottom of the lights to. And so that's as much as I'm gonna do that. So let me put you guys down so we're not getting sick watching here. Get ourselves a good angle so we can see all of the horribleness that's about to happen. And maybe it might not happen, who knows? But I think we're gonna be okay. All right, so there's my base. Let's bring in the next big piece that I got. This piece I got off of Craigslist or one of your local marketplaces that you guys can buy. I use some of these at work, and they're extremely heavy and heavy duty. These are like a big, huge, they're called a Matthews stand is what they make them for the companies that do some major lighting and some major film work. This is what they use. Some guy was selling this on Craigslist. He sold it for me for 15 bucks. 15 bucks, you can't beat that. These are like $100, $200 stands, and it's heavy as all get out. So I know I'm gonna regret this later, but I'm not going to guy wire it down because we're using seed pixels. So I don't have that much weight in the air. So this is my Matthews stand. This is what we're gonna use. We're gonna put this in place, and that's what's gonna hang out right here. So first we need to put on our topper. We're gonna put our star on. That's gonna be our first and foremost because that's gonna be the highest thing in the air. The tree is gonna sit at 12 feet, and then the star is another 4 feet on top of that. So we're like, I don't know, we're like 16 feet in the air. It's gonna be freaking huge. So it's gonna be great. This is a star I got from Gilbert Engineering. I like those guys. Christina was good to me. So this is what we're gonna put on top of the tree here. And again, it's all seed pixels. I popped in all the seeds, and there's no I don't know what I'm trying to say. Well, I'm using all seed pixels is what I'm trying to say. All right, this is gonna be the whole tree seed pixels. Everything's gonna be seeds. So this is my topper, seed pixels. We're gonna put that on top. That's the first and foremost. How we're gonna put that on top is I've got a couple of these little U brackets here. These are gonna work out great. It's gonna go through the front of the tree, the front of the star. It's gonna hook onto the back of the pole, You guys can see these. So that's what we're going to use real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that on there, and we're going to see how that goes. I got my little handy dandy Bob the Builder purse here, and it's fantastic. So if I don't chat a whole lot, sorry, I'm just going to try not to ramble and just let you guys watch me build this thing, watch me cook here. So, all right, here we go. If I go here, if I jump into the chat, I can see you guys in the chat here on my computer. All right, there we go. Now I've got some chat. I live next to a Air Force base, so that's why we got some planes flying around here. Just going to unscrew these. Go through the top, the first one here. Now I know they make flat ones. See how the steel's kind of sticking out there? They make flat one of these. Couldn't find it, but this will work. I mean, we're not going through a major anything here. So I'm just gonna loosely put this on to my topper here. Well, we've already come into the first problem here. I need this to be higher so that I can give it above the base. So let's go ahead and put the other one in then. It's all about adapting and overcome. Hey, 4 watchers, thanks for watching, guys and gals. I don't know, could be guys and gals. I've looked at my my YouTube analytics as I'm making these videos, and when you're a YouTuber, I don't know, I guess say I'm a YouTuber, put stuff on YouTube. As you're looking on YouTube, you can see your analytics of who watches your videos, and tells you the demographic, where they're from. This is what my demographic is. It's 99% male, and between the ages of 35 and 45. So maybe this is our midlife crisis. This is what we're doing, but I digress. Let's keep going. All right, so got my bolts and screws. Let's raise this to a point where we can put this on. Let's get the back piece on. All right, so let's get my little screwdriver out here. I think I've got the size for that. I do. That worked out convenient, didn't it? This is the Klein, what is this? The 11-in-1. I made a video about it. It's a pretty awesome tool. The Klein 11-in-1. Can't beat that. It does 11 things in one tool. It's a good electrician's tool. In fact, an electrician, he's the one that recommended it to me and says, yeah, you should put this in your arsenal and use it. So that's what I use. All right, let's tighten that up real quick. Now we gotta get up to that top one up there. So let me go grab a small step ladder so I can get up there. from the Twinkle laboratory garage. Of course, when I look in here, look for the step ladder, I can never find it. All right, back, got my tiny step ladder, like my Bob the Builder step ladder here. Gonna go up top here. If you guys have any questions as I'm going along or why I do things the way I do, throw them down in the comments, and when I see them down there, I'll answer you guys. So I always remember when people go live, they always fall off the ladder or something like that, and it's just hilarity ensues, except for the guy that fell off the ladder. It's my fear. Don't have a lot of fears, but falling off a ladder while I'm live streaming might give me some more clicks or some more views. All right. Got my top piece on there. Let's tighten this one up. All right, and let's get, there's a little nub on here. I want that to catch just like that. All right, let's go ahead and ram it home. All right, that's nice and tight on there. Let's do the bottom one down here. All right, does that look all right? Yeah, that looks all right. Nice and straight. It's good enough for people I run with. All right, perfect. So, got that. Let's get it wired up. I am going to put a lead to it, and I'm also going to do some power injection on it as well. And it's not really power injection. The people with the talk about power injection, power balancing, it's more power balancing, but I think we've got the verbiage wrong. We just think power injecting is just when we're adding more power to it, and that's not necessarily true. I don't think. I could be wrong. I probably am. I don't think I am though. But if you're using the same power supply and you are just tagging power on the back end of whatever your cable is here to add more power, I don't think that's injecting. I think you're balancing there. Injecting is where you're actually cutting, not cutting, but taking a different source of power and literally injecting it into the light or your LEDs where you want it, hence the power injection. So if you got one power supply that's running, I don't know, 500 LEDs, and then you get halfway through the LEDs and you want a different power supply to take over, you actually got to separate that power to separate the positive negative leg and inject another power supply so they're not fighting each other. That's power injection. This is power balancing. Oh, we got a comment. Loving these streams. Which mega tree is that? Well, here's the thing. It's not. It's homegrown mega tree. I didn't buy it. I'm just showing you guys how to get all the stuff and put it all together. And so I didn't buy the mega tree. But you can. There's a lot of companies out there that make the mega trees. I didn't buy them because I try to see how cheap I can go and see how cheap I can build these things. But yeah, so I did not purchase said mega tree from anyone, and it's just my little mega tree. All right, so let's go. Thanks for the question though. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna address some of these cables here. So it's nice and pretty. All right, great. So ready for the star to go all the way up. That's gonna be fantastic. So let's go ahead and move. I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten that, and then let's move this up. All right, I gotta take you guys off of the stand real quick so I can kind of show you what we're doing. The topper, I know it's like it's gonna be like an earthquake. Okay, so the topper on top here, this is something that SFL Designs has, and it's 3D printed. If you don't have a 3D printer, go out and buy one. You can get them on Craigslist for like 150 bucks, and we use them all the time. I use an Ender Pro 3. I 3D printed this topper, and it's made for seeds to sit down in, okay, as we go through, and those seeds are gonna lock themselves in there, and that's what's gonna lock down to the bottom. So that's the topper I'm using. The only way to kind of get it attached to this thing was some C-clamps and kind of redneck engineering, but hey, when it's dark out, no one can see it. So this is gonna be my front up here, and then we're gonna go this way with it. So let's start working on that now. I wanna bring you guys a little closer too. So I know one day I'll have like a 6-camera shot, and let's get you guys up higher. All right, let's get down here. All right, so we can see what we're doing here. Got everything? All right, so let's get our ladder out of here. And if you guys haven't seen the video yet, this is my tester that I use to test all my pixels with. See, there's the planes. It's like the sound of freedom, you know, having the planes fly over. But when it's late night, it's a sound of anger, but still freedom. All right, so I built this pixel tester. This is the worst. I built this pixel tester, and it's a 5-volt pixel tester, but it doesn't have any wires to power it up. It's all powered off of a battery. So you can check out one of those videos. They're super cheap to build, really convenient to have. So I'm gonna turn that on, all right? And then I'm gonna go into the app and I'm gonna make it populate 150 LEDs so I can see where the halfway point is for my lights. So let me jump on my computer real quick. We're gonna pull that up, and that's gonna be my Opto 5-volt here. And we're gonna go to configure, and we're gonna go to LED preferences, and we're gonna go here. We're gonna type in 150, and we're gonna hit save. All right, so now in theory, when I plug in these lights at 150, that will be my halfway point, because this is gonna be 300-foot strands. So I'm gonna plug in the male in down here. If you see him, I got a little bit of illumination coming up. And right here, let me see if I can make them red. Maybe red's a little bit easier to see for you guys. Let's go here. Let's go here. All right, we make it red. All right. And I'm just controlling that in the WLED app. So here we go. Half of them are there's my halfway point. So I know 150 are going this way, 150 are going this way. This is my top point. Now, according to my Megatree build, I'm starting in xLights. Bottom left is the start of the tree. So the bottom left is the start of the tree. And so at the top up here, I'm gonna start by pulling these little fellers in. Come on this side, put a little feller in there. And look at that, that locks down. Perfect. Here, I'll bring it closer so you guys can see it. Look at this. So there you go. That's how that locks in. So this is lit up on this side. So there's 150. that's number 151. That make sense? All right, perfect. So let's keep going. So I did 150 and make that locked in. And then it can come down to the bottom. Down to the bottom down here, we are going to use another 3D printed item. Again, if you don't have a 3D printer, go out and get one. These are on Thingiverse. I'll put a link down there. It's a cool little heart, but in there you've got this track that these seed pixels will lay in, and they lock in, and there's a hole. So I've taken these bungee cords and I've ran it through the hole. So I'm gonna lock my pixel into here, put the bungee cord around the chain link, so when I take it up, it's always taking tension. So it'll be nice and have some tension on there, keep them nice and straight. Again, I've never done this before. Let's see how this works. I'm gonna bring you guys down low so you guys can see what's going on. We're gonna go to this first one over here. So our first one, we're gonna do like a little choke around this one. All right, and I've got the small side faced up. I've got my power, so since I already know the halfway point, I'm gonna unplug that. Plug in the seed pixel into the bottom. Pull that nice and tight. Okay, so there's one side, and let's make another side. Like this. All right, like this. Lock that on there just like that. Okay, and here is the other side. Put our seeds in there. Okay, so now I've got two of the seed pixels locked in there on the left and right. So one here, one there. So there's my first two strands. It's going to go up, and then it's going to go back down. And that's my first strand. So let's do a test run real quick and see if this is really gonna work. I'll go like this. Let's get you guys so you guys can see. Right? So in theory, after I get all of the seed pixels in, all we have to do is raise this thing now to the height of what we want. Dang it, I gotta go a little higher. But you guys get the idea there of how this is gonna work. And those come down, and then there's my tree. So it looks like I'm about 6 inches short. That sucks. Let's figure out how we can get some more height out of this thing. Golly, that thing's freaking up there, man. That's no joke. So we need our topper to go higher, and then we need our SFL designs to go higher. So that's what we need there. So I wonder if well, that's the height we need right there. But I need that to go higher. So I wonder if I stick That up on top of there, make that a little higher. Well, let's keep building. I'm not gonna bore you guys with this part, but we're gonna keep building and keep finding the halfway points. And you guys can see how this is done here. And then maybe I gotta set this up on something to get a little higher, because I don't, well, let's try that. Let's take it back. Yeah, they're loose right now, but you can get a kind of concept of the size of this friggin' thing. Look at this thing. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna like dwarf half my house. Maybe I built it too tall. I don't know. Maybe not. Let's bring it back down. So I think I gotta put that plate, higher up there, and then we're cooking. So anyway, let's keep going with the lights. We'll keep landing the 16 strands as we go here. Kind of lay these out nice as we go. Let's see what we've got there. Oh, look at that from Pakistan. Right on, man. You guys do Christmas lights in Pakistan? That's pretty cool. You could be the only subscriber from Pakistan that I have. That's awesome. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Let me see, it's like what? It's like 10 o'clock here. What time is it over there? It's gotta be either super late or super early. I don't know, I don't have a globe on me. Sitting here prepping some of these. My neighbors come home from doing errands and stuff like that, and they always see I have another project that I'm doing with, and they, I wouldn't say they're concerned or worried, but every time they come home, there's something new I've put on my house. When I say new, it's more like another prop. Boy, I tried to do matrices this year. That was a complete failure. I'll make a video and show you guys what I did there. Terrible. I just didn't execute it very well. I bought really cheap pixels. They were like 26 gauge pixels. Like the wire was real thin. And but I saved $5 and I got free shipping. And after about 5-6 hours of pushing them through all the matrices and panels and stuff, they just sat there and flickered, and it was terrible. So I had some nicer ones that I put in there just to see if it was my controller just kind of troubleshooting. It was 100% these cheap LEDs, so I'm a little upset. Cheaped out. Don't go cheap, guys. If you're gonna buy something, don't be cheap. All right, got a couple comments. Let's take a look at them. Oh, from Staten Island. All right, not your average dad. Right on. Somerset, New Jersey. I like the seeds compared to the bullet pixels. All right, so the big seed bullet pixel fight that's going on, and maybe it's not a fight. I just look at it. It's just pure weight. You know, for seeds, they are. I mean, a quarter of the weight of regular pixels, man. And so I am a fan of the seed pixels. 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We're gonna go 20 up just for the video purposes, and then I'll adjust it some other time. So I don't see a difference in the lighting. I don't see a difference in the quality. All I see is a difference in the weight and the power. You can power a crap load of seed pixels. I think I have to inject after about 150, 200 seed pixels, and I know on the bullets after about 50 or 60, I find myself balancing power on there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, there's 20 there. What are your... All right, there's 20 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. There's 20 here. So, for the video purposes, we're going to go ahead and show you guys, because I basically made the seed shorter. I'll raise this up. So now we can see what it looks like with, it's got some tension on it there. So. And there we go, check that out. So that's how they work when you have them tensioned properly. So now you can see as you come up to the top, and I can turn it where it's correct there. So there's where they're tensioned at the bottom and all the way at the top. And that's what we're working with there. So it's pretty cool, I guess. I got a 20 foot and a 16 strand 200 pixel per strand mega tree. Yeah, but it's heavy. No, that's 100% true, man. The weight, just the weight is just, I'm just trying to figure out how to do everything lighter. You know, every time I put something on my house, it's like a construction project to try to figure out how to get these pixels up there. So I've been taking the pixels down. So like my singers right here, those guys are pixels, but everything else on the house, like my, look, we're turning this into a whole lesson here. Why not? I'll just take you guys over here. So over here where my snowflakes are, those are all seeds. And then my big mega star in the middle, mega snowflake, those are all seeds. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the seeds. I like the seeds. I think the seeds are done really well, but you got to get the larger gauge wire, or that'll bite you in the butt later on. So that's a big thing that I cannot stress enough. Get the good pixels, and don't go out and buy just the Chinese crap, because that's what I did, and it did not do well. So there's my connection. I'm gonna do a couple more and show you guys how we're doing these. Isabel says that SSL builds your mini seed pixel tree. Yeah, you can go on to SFL. You can go onto their website, and actually you can download the STL file, and you can print it and make sure it works. And then you gotta then pay for it. You know, these guys are really good. A lot of people go in there and take advantage of it. Being part of the hobby, I download it, I make sure it works. If it works, I freaking send them money, man. They're good people over there. So yeah, SFL makes good stuff. Let me see, I just hacked a 7.5 foot Govee cone tree in WLED. Oh yeah, totally. Hacking Govee, like that was my first big thing. Is like when I put my Govee lights up on my house, here I'll work as I talk. As I put my Govee lights up on my house, I hated the app. The app I was not a fan of. It was terrible to use. I couldn't do what I wanted to with it, and I'm sure if I spent a whole lot of time, I could get more intuitive with the app, but I wasn't into it, you know. I just wanted something that would be simple, and I happened to be doing a Hyperion build. I don't know if you guys know what Hyperion is, but that's where your TV, and you have lights down by your TV, and the lights kind of extend into your television. So as your I don't know, as your character's walking, if there's white light, there's light behind your TV that shines out. I got a video on that. Anyway, I was building that, so I ramble on about that. I was building that and the Hyperion build, and that's when I really got into WLED. And with WLED, I was like, man, you can do anything with WLED, and it seems like all the homies are using WLED. So that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I wanted to build. So the first thing I hacked was my Govee first gen lights. And since then, I've been I wouldn't call it hacking, but I'm basically putting my own Govee, my own controller in line with all these guys with all the lights. And so I did a couple houses around my neighborhood. They liked them. They liked the WLED app. And of course, they're like, hey, how do we do a show like yours? And I said, hey, you're on the right track for doing this, for building your own show and getting into this hobby. So that was the first build, was those Govees. Really liked them. Super easy to do. If you guys have got Govees and you want to hack them, really easy to build. All right, here we go. Back to the wireless tester here. And so I've got it populated for 150. Let's find our middle point. We look through here. There's our middle point. Obviously, one's white, one's red. There's our middle point. And I'm going to have the power, because it's always on the right. So that's coming on the right. This is coming in on the left. Yep, if you guys don't learn anything from today, if I could just tell you, don't buy cheap pixels. It will anger you to no end. All right, let's do another one. Let's just keep hanging lights. Maybe that's the way to go. We'll hang some lights, and then we'll come down and do all the hard work. I'm not gonna make the stream too long. Once when we hit about an hour, we're gonna sign off, and so it's not babbling, but we'll make a cool ending video about my mega tree. Okay, here we go. Put the tester back in again. Let's go 150 lights. 150 lights there. Pull this out of our tester. I'm serious, this thing is incredible. It's awesome. My buddy, when we were out in Illinois working this year, he's a lighting designer. His name's Nate Dursteler, and he's a great guy. But they made him, they asked him and said, hey, we want to put some lights and some cool lanterns but in the middle of nowhere. And they had no infrastructure, no nothing. So he says, hey, we should just put them all on battery packs. And I thought, man, those won't last. That's going to have to recharge those batteries every night. Like, what a pain in the butt. And after we did the math, we had to charge them like maybe once a week. And they worked out great. And then I thought, well, why don't I just make that into a tester I can just walk around the house with, test my pixels, and see if they work. And they did. It was awesome. It was a great little invention, and it's ran from a GLD Opto. Those, you can find them on AliExpress for 20 bucks, but if you're patient, they always go on sale, and you can find them for $10. Can't beat a $10 bill. I'm putting caps on the end of these just so protect them from the moisture and the rain. Again, everybody, sometimes people are saying, they're like, well, yeah, but it's not waterproof. I'm like, well, listen, you're right, it's not waterproof, but it is weatherproof. And if I've got water this high into my house, we've got bigger problems than that. All right, let's get another set of pixels here. All right, so on here, I should source the connector. Yeah, so you can source, so here's the thing, you don't have to cut the connector. So let's go back up a couple comments there. This is from Lord Chariot. So you can't source the connector, but what you can do on Amazon is that you can buy the extensions for the Govies. And so they always have the extensions for sale. Every company's making their own Govee extension now. And they're like, I don't know, they're like $4 or $5. So I ended up cutting those up and using those ends in my boxes. So I wasn't cutting my Govies up anymore. So, and it doesn't matter. You can cut the Govies and cut them back on. It's just wire. But yeah, but you buy the extensions, and then I make pigtails out of the extensions, and so my Govies stay in the original factory, whatever it is there, and works out really well. So yeah, I was afraid to cut them too, man. You get these $300 or $400 house lights, and the first thing you do is like chop the end of them off. But now after doing this for a while, I'm not afraid to cut all that crap up. Well, kind of, but I try to make it real simple. And let me see, this one comes out this way. All right, let's look at another question. So it says to build that. I wish I could source the front. Yep, not your dad. How many seeds per strand? Also, how long is that? Okay, good question. So I've got 300 seeds per strand. Okay, so when I fold them in half, it's going to be 150 seeds. Is what we're going with. So 300 seeds, and with the math that I've mathed in xLights, it makes the actual strands 12 feet tall. So my strand here is actually 24 feet tall since I'm going up and down. So it's a 12-foot tall strand. I mean, it's a, Jiminy Christmas. It's a 24-foot long strand, but once when you fold it in half and go up and down, it's gonna be 12 feet tall. So your mega tree is going to be 12 feet tall. So you got that going for you. All right, how many seeds per strand? I'm gonna have to redo my mega tree. Yeah, you know what? I think when I first started, man, I jumped in and I was all in on the bullet pixels because that's what everybody was buying. And then I think I bought my first seed pixels for Halloween last year because they were cheaper. And with a little bit of knowledge that I did have, I thought, well, we can just make all our props out of seed pixels. And I started buying and 3D printing all the adapters. So all the adapters of the seed pixels to put them into the 13 millimeter holes that you're supposed to put them into. And that actually worked out really well. There's better adapters than some adapters. That makes sense. There's some adapters that are really, really tight, and so your seeds don't fall out. And then there's ones that are really shallow that, man, they're terrible. Again, I printed off a bunch of those, landed a bunch of props with those crappy adapters, and that was terrible. Don't do that. But if you've got a bullet pixel tree, those are great too. I'm not anti-bullet pixels. I don't know if I can say bullet on here without it editing it, but yeah, I'm not against the bullet pixels, but they just have a lot of weight to them. And so I try to avoid those. So I've seen a lot of people's mega trees that blow over in the wind and they lose their trees because they're so heavy. This one, I don't think we'll have that problem. The only thing I see an issue with this right now is them staying locked into those little pieces that I 3D printed. We may have to rethink this. I may have to put the seat in, and then it's got to have a topper on it somehow. So I'm almost not liking these now. But hey, this is why we do this. I sit there and show it to you guys and say, hey, this is what sucks. Don't do this. And then we come back and we make another one. Show you the adaptations of what's going on. In fact, I don't like those. I just decided right here, right now, I don't like those. All right, let's unplug this one here. Let's go back into our 150 maker here. All right, come back up right here. Come back down on here. All right. Okie dokie there, E. All right, let's now, I'm just tranching over all these seeds like it's lawn. Okay, I'm gonna raise this up now and let's see what happens. And here's what we're gonna do. Since those seeds lock in, I'm going to open this base up a little bit more. So a little bit more sturdy. Go just like that with it. And then I'm gonna drop this down so it looks pretty. So we may not get the height out of what we want, but we'll be able to lock our seeds in at any height that we need. So let's take this all the way up. It's a good size there. Take this all the way up. It's a good size there. Oh man, that looks really good. We are cooking with gas now. So maybe that's the way to do it here. So let's look at our next. I can see this getting tangled and being an awful situation. Okay. So let's see where we're gonna lock in our seeds up here. And maybe I will end up liking that. I don't know, feeling cute. Might like it later. All right, let's go this way. Yeah, those are tighter than a hole in a Ritz cracker. So maybe we'll just loosen it up just a little bit because I don't want the seed pixels to actually have the strain relief. Let me bring it closer so you guys can see what I'm doing. You guys are just watching me bend over. Who does? It's like plumber TV. No offense to the plumbers out there, but nobody wants to watch that. Well, I don't know. Someone might want to watch plumber TV. I don't. All right, here we go. Here's my next seed. Come way down right here. So I'm right now I'm just feeling for the tension, and then I'm going to put the seeds in appropriate to how tension it is. Oh man. Oh, that looks good. All right, that's cool. That's cool. So it looks like I may have made them just a little too long, but that's all right. We adapt and overcome. Here's my next one. Go ahead and choke this down here, like this. You can get these little bungee cords from Harbor Freight. Yeah, those little plastic johns, those aren't any good. We're gonna end up dumping those. I can tell you that right now. I wouldn't use little plastic things. We're gonna find a different solution, but for the video purpose, we're gonna keep using these, and then we're gonna come back and I'll come back and do a fix for it. You guys are gonna tell your significant others like, hey, what'd you do today? Oh, I watched a guy build a Christmas tree for his house. But it was awesome though, because building Christmas trees is good times. All right, here's another one. All right, so what I'm doing, I know you guys can see it, but I'm gonna try to talk your way through it. So I've choked this on here with the little ball there, and then I pull this up to where I got some tension, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the seat on. Now I'm not trying to ram this thing home because these are just little tiny wires. Something tells me a little kid's going to run through there and trample everything. That's okay. We'll figure it out. I'm sure it'll be fine. So same thing, choke it on here. And pull this up to here. There it is there. In my head, I had an idea of what this looked like, but in reality, this looks way better. This is really cool. All right, let me move you guys over here now. Just gonna see what we're doing. We might even get to plug this thing in today. What's the signal? How many seed pixels? We already did that one. I'm gonna have to redo my Mega Tree seeds. Can you chain WS2811 bullets to the end of a strip of WS2812B, save on port? You can, but here's what you're gonna run into. If you're running just WLED, you have to pick the port to decide if it's RGB or GRB. So the language of the WS28 whatever, it doesn't care. But what it does care about is if you're GRB or RGB and so forth. If you are doing it in xLights, you can go into xLights and you can tell xLights that this prop, specific prop, needs to be RGB. And this other prop needs to be GRB. And so it will tell the actual prop, tell it to propagate the right colors to that prop. Oh, I made it backwards, you ding dong. Look at that, I got talking. So yeah, you can chain them on the back, and the data doesn't care as long as it's WS28 11, 12, doesn't matter. Where you run into it is going to be your color selection. There you go, that's a little bit less. You're gonna run your color selection there. So, good question. All right, see if another one in there. My wife. Oh, the snowflakes. Oh man, these are a huge hit. So these are from Gilbert Engineering. They're awesome. I went down there. Of course, I always say, hey, I'm going to make a video of what I just did. I went down to Florence, Arizona, just to go visit the Gilbert Engineering factory, and it was pretty amazing down there. These guys that have kind of committed their careers into, you know, our little niche hobby that we do here, man, they had a setup that you couldn't believe. They had eight tables of CNC machines cutting props all day long. I mean, it was insane of how many props these guys were pumping out. Uh-oh, I'm seeing a problem here. Am I seeing a problem? I did it again. You dum-dum. Maybe here. We got a male, female, male, female, male, female, male, female, male. Yeah, I'm off one. All right, let's go back up here. So yeah, Gilbert Engineering, I'll put a list in the link below of what the prop of what the snowflake is, but man, they're great. They're great. They make a couple different types of coroplast down there, which is the plastic that they put on there. So most of their stuff for the bullet pixels is 10 mil, but now they make pixels. They make a 5 mil, so it's easier to press those seed pixels into, and we're not completely pushing the little seed pixels all the way through, and they're not getting their full light potential. All right, let's lift another one here. After I get this one, let me go back and check, and I think there was another comment there. Where am I going to inject power in? Great question. So I am not, the only thing I'm going to do on power, if we have any power issues, is going to be on the tail end. So I'll put it on the back side of the connectors and send it up the female side. And so I'll just be power balancing that way. Since these are seed pixels and they're only 300 nodes, I have not found a need to really inject the power or power balance as much as I thought I would. So that's the beauty about using seed pixels. you can get away with a little bit less power usage than you would if you're doing bullet pixels. Bullet pixels, man, you got to send power up there all the time, man. Bullet pixels are a pain in the butt. I asked you where. All right, so the base, the question was, did I build the base? I did. I had a buddy build the base. I told him what I wanted. Said we're gonna take this little square tube. We're gonna bend it at 120 degrees because I don't want to do 180 degrees. Excuse me. And it's just square steel tubing. That he made for me, and he's a good guy. His name is Royce, and he's kind of one of those guys that can just make anything. And I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, and then he always goes, well, why don't you do it like this? And I was like, you know what, that's even a better idea. Why don't we do it like this? And so then he made it for me. It was very nice and kind of him. And so that's what I did. So some square tubing. I'll go in this one here. So square tubing, and he had it bent and welded, and on the back he's just got a flat 1.5 inch piece that is nailed down to the ground. Man, this tree's coming out great. It's better than I thought it was gonna be. I just should have done a little bit better than those plastic pieces. I don't like those. And I came over here to go get more of them. I had 2 more sitting right there. All right, here we go. Take a look here. Hey, I appreciate you guys subscribing and watching too. You know, when I first made this channel, I literally made all these videos just to store on YouTube. So I went to go back and make them, or went to go back and like make a controller, or try to figure out how to solder something. I could go back and watch my own videos. And then my kids were like, Dad, you should just put up a channel and let people watch you work. I said, nobody wants to watch that crap. And then here I am, 1,000 subscribers later, which I literally thought like nobody would want to watch this. So then I started making a little bit different content, and I thought when I was building props or building something, I'm like, man, this sucks to build. And I thought, well, if it's no good for me to build, there might be no good for someone else to build. So let's make a video of how I kind of made it a little bit easier, maybe a different way of doing it. That worked out well. Okay, well, we got them all in, guys and gals. That is ridiculous looking. That is awesome. Right? All right, so we've got that going. I'm going to, let's give you guys like this. Oh, I tell you what, let's plug it all in. I'm gonna plug it into a controller. I think my controller is in the house. Let me go grab my controller real quick. Don't leave. I promise I'll come right back. I think my controller's sitting in my house. Hold on. All right. Okay, so this is my controller that I'm going to use for... Oh, gotta put this back on or no one can hear me. All right. This is my controller that I'm going to use for the Mega Tree. It's got 8 outputs, and then it's got 4 things for power balancing and injection right down there. This is my favorite controller. I'm using the Bong 69 controller here, and this is designed by one of our fellow people that do this. His name is Bob Kojima. Nice guy, good dude. Makes a really good product, and he's always coming up with like the next invention. Like, this guy's great, and so I like using his controllers. I am not anti against any other controllers. I just use that one because it works the best for me. All right, so we're gonna hang it right on the back here. It's black, no one can see it. It's gonna be dressed real nice and pretty. And let's go ahead and get it powered up. This is something I did want to show you guys that I like to use for my power cables. Since I just did that new build of the, raise you up so I'm not bending over and sitting there talking to you guys here. So the one thing I do, I like to put my connectors in one of these guys here. I'll put the link in the Amazon link down below. But down here, this is it's got 2 rubber grommets on either end. Your cable's laying here, your connection stays in here, and then it stays pretty watertight. Again, I don't think anything's waterproof, but it stays pretty watertight in here, and that's what we're gonna connect. Let me take you guys back behind the tree so you guys can see this connection happening here. It's the best. Okay, so here's my power cable coming in. Here's the old trusty green extension cord you get from Home Depot. I'm gonna plug those 2 things in. And now we're here. We're gonna make sure that that cable lays in those grommets. Gonna close this thing up, lock it up, and look, it makes a pretty good seal around the ends there. Close these all the way up. Oh, I closed one in there. Womp womp. Open it back up again. Get out of there, little feller. All right, try it again. And there you go, nice and sealed in this little, and it keeps the rain out. Is it waterproof? Absolutely not. Is it water resistant to a lot? It certainly is. All right, let's start plugging these in. We're gonna go from the front here, and I'm gonna start throwing all the ports to the back. So get my little Bob the Builder tools out. So here is going to be port 1. We'll go around this way. Port 1 should be this first one right here. Look at that, it says port 1. Because it's labeled lovely. Look at that, it's populated up to the orange. So we know it's working. Drop that one back in there. Let's go to number 2. Now, since I made these lights a little long, we can either adapt and try to figure out how to make the tree taller, or I can go into xLights or the program, and I can tell it to ignore the first 20 and ignore the last 20. It robs you of lights. But then your power is less. So it's up to you. whatever you guys want to do on that one there. That's what I might do. Go port number 2. Grab that one. Port number 3. After the tree didn't go up all the way and it didn't stay tight, I thought we weren't going to be able to turn this on. And I was going to have to sit there and tell you guys to use your imagination of how the mega tree might look. But now it looks like we're going to be all right. There's number 3. One, two, three. 2, 3. Good. Those all lit up. Oh, we're cooking with gas still. You guys are still hanging with me. Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys a lot. Let's see if there's any questions. We're cooking with gas still. You guys are still hanging with me. Appreciate you. Yeah, Lord Cherry, I don't know how to monetize. A little beverage break. The only thing I have read about monetization, and like, I just want to make cool videos for people. And I think if I were to make any kind of money off of this, I just put it back and buy more LEDs. But I guess it's all about the watch hours. And, you know, I think they treat it like a regular, like a TV show. It's like right now I am prime time on your local channel 7 that only comes over the airwaves at midnight. And that's the time slot I have because I don't have a lot of viewers and a lot of people watching it all the time. And so I've looked into how to do that, and it's all about your watch hours. And so I think if I end up getting a few more subscribers, I don't know. But I love doing the live stuff, but I just want to make cool videos. That's really what I'm trying to do, is just make videos that help people and hopefully give you guys an idea and saying, well, I wonder how that prop works, or I wonder how I would wire this, or how would you put a 50 amp circuit in your yard? And so that's what I really have been making the channel for. But I don't know, if I could ever get monetized, that would be cool. But I would just put it right back into buying more props and more controllers and more of this. It can never be enough, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be number 5. But I don't know, one day. But for now, we will continue to build this freaking epic, awesome mega tree. Literally, like, I can't remember who made the comment earlier. It was, let me see, so I try to build a choir. How many seed pixels? I have to redo my mega tree with seeds. So not your average dad. So literally, I walked the entire mega tree out here in a tub like this. The entire tree fit in a tub. So I don't know if that's enough convincing, or if you are a light purist or anything like that. But when I go to put my stuff away at the end of the year, man, I don't got a lot of garage space because I got 100 other projects I like to do. And so garage space is primo for me. And so I can put my entire show in an old TV box, the whole thing. All my snowflakes, my singers, everything, it all fits in about a 75-inch TV last year, and it all fits in there. Ruh-roh. Oh, now we're cooked. All right. this one's not lighting up. There's no way we were gonna bat 1,000 today. Let's see if it was the extension cord. It is the extension cord. So this cord sucks. Let's get rid of that. Let's get another one. Because there's no way it's a soldering job. A solder master. No, I'm not the solder master. But I've been doing a lot of soldering lately. I've got that down to a pretty good science. So with the soldering, sometimes I use solder sleeves, sometimes I just solder right on. These, I did not use any solder sleeves whatsoever. I soldered right onto the cable there. And I'll make a video for you guys. And it really is a lot better, I think. I think it's a lot better. I think it's a lot more sturdy. Not that the solder sleeves are bad. We're not going to say anything bad about Mr. Solder Sleeve. But I just didn't have the room with these 2.5-inch pixels, with these 2.5-inch spacing, or 2.5. 2.5-inch or 2.5 centimeter spacing. Sorry, I paused there to look at what the chat is saying. So like all of a sudden, I fail to load. I'll have a thought, and all of a sudden my thought just stops. All right, I'm one extension short. Let me run to the Twinkle Tunes garage. Go grab my last extension. Hey man, and today we're gonna hit play on one of my sequences, and we're gonna see the tree work. This will be the first time I saw the tree work. It'll be the first time anyone's seen the tree work. You guys are seeing some actual treeness happening right now live. Let's see if I'll grab a couple of these just in case that one doesn't work either. Yep, I saw the mega trees, and I wanted to build one that was out of seeds. I wanted to build one that looked great, and this one is awesome. This one is really good. So I can tell you right now, though, the twist, well, everything looks different at night. Because sometimes when the twist, you have a front side and the back side of the seed pixels. And I wonder if I can get that twist out of there. But I'll have to play with that tonight when it's dark out, because if it's not that big of a deal, it's not that big of a deal. All right, last one. Here we go. All right, got that one there. Oh, it all works. All right, now the song I'm gonna test it with. Probably gonna get, so I'll have to turn it down, but we can see if the tree is working though. So let's go here. It's pretty daylight out, but I got that thing cranked up to 100%. All right, let's go to my xLights here. Let's hit my render. All right, let's hit render. Turn that down just in case I get in trouble for playing copyrighted music on here. Let's zoom out, and we're gonna go all the way to the beginning and hit my lights. Let's hit play. Yep, there she is. She's singing. It's mega treeing. Oh man, that is super cool. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Let's see what you guys are looking at here. You guys can't see crap. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's freaking awesome looking. That's pretty cool. Let me see if I can get, oh, there we go. Now Go to another part of the song. Look, my Fern's over there just singing away. She's just singing her heart out there. See if we can get some kind of angle there. Well, it's daytime. It sucks. I'll come back. I'll shoot some at night. But hey, I'll tell you what, guys and gals and everyone that watched. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys watching this. I hope you guys learned something from here. We came across some challenges, just doing a little wrap up here. And I'm not a fan of the little plastic pieces I used. I might swap those out. We also, I wanted to go taller. So I'm gonna have to switch that out too. So appreciate all you guys for watching. Thanks so much. Tell your friends and throw some more comments down below if I can help you guys out. And don't be afraid to reach out to twinkletunesandlighting.com. Shoot me an email. And love to see your guys' projects. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one.